What up, everyone? We've got classic Nerd Block here. So, I'm always happy to see this box. I've gotten it pretty much since I started getting boxes, and they always do a pretty decent job. But let's take a look at this month and see what we got. First, we got a t-shirt. No surprise, from Shirt Punch, also a crossover. So this is a crossover between Battlestar Galactica and Daft Punk. So, a bit of a weird crossover. I see the reference because their helmets look very similar, so I get it. But just kind of a weird one to cross over. It's still pretty cool. I think pretty much everyone will get the reference because they're both very popular. But I don't think everyone will love the shirt, so I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. The fit on it isn't super great, but it kind of never is from Shirt Punch. They don't have super great fitting shirts most of the time. And but yeah, like I said, I think most people get the reference, but not everyone would be obsessed with it. So I think 7 out of 10. It's still a good score. I think it's good quality and everything. So yeah, there we go. Next item, we got a plush toy. We got BB-8. This is the droid from the new Star Wars movie. There we go. So it's nice. It's not like normal felt. It's like a nice tightly stitched. And it has some beads in there so it'll stand up, but my beads are on the side, so he's lopsided. So it kind of ironically made it even worse. So it's supposed to make him stand upright, but in this case it actually purposely makes him fall to the side. So I'm trying to get the beads in the right spot, but I couldn't figure it out. But yeah, it's a nice quality figure, and it's branded and everything like that, so that's cool. And I like the feel of it. It's very nicely stitched. So we got a BB-8 plush figure. Then we got an exclusive figure from exclusive to Nerd Block. So this is of the Starship Enterprise, but the original one from the original series. So this goes way back. And this is from a company called Springs. So I guess this is a company that's kind of trying to make their way in the collectible industry. But I can't see Spring things being very popular, much like bobbleheads. I don't think people need their stuff to move around, so we'll see if Springs makes an appearance again. I don't see it really happening, though. And honestly, Star Trek is very recognizable, but I don't think this particular figure is going to be like super popular for most people. But we'll talk about that when we talk about the value. Just want to show that. Then we got a Mystery Mini from Supernatural. So you don't really need to see it up close, but Supernatural, I haven't checked it out, but I've been seeing this come up a lot, like with Funko and boxes. It's been making a lot of appearances lately, so it seems like a cool show. The cool thing is I like how they did the figures on this one. For Mystery Minis, there are two types of Mystery Mini, and they don't really have names for the different types, but I noticed. So there's this type, the same as the Walking Dead type, the same as the horror, the same as sci-fi, where it's this longer body and has a little bit of a bigger head, but it looks more like proportionate to a human being. Then they have the other type of Mystery Minis that look like bobbleheads. That's where they do the Marvel, they do the DC, they did the anime ones like that. A lot of them are bobblehead, or they at least look like bobblehead, which I'm not as big of a fan of. They look fine and everything, but this type is always like much nicer in quality. Like the paint looks nicer, the sculpt looks nicer, the design looks nicer. So I'm a huge fan of the horror ones. I don't know if you can see them up here, and the sci-fi ones. Huge fan. Can't wait for Series 2 on both of those. I really like that style, but really not a fan of the bigger bobblehead ones, which is such a bummer because they do all the comic book ones that way. I know they have to make bobbleheads with Marvel, but I wish they would do this style with like Marvel and DC. I think it would be so much cooler. I'm sure it's two different artists doing it, but I definitely like this style better. So if nothing else, this is still a cool figure. I actually didn't open it, so I want to see who I got. I'm not familiar with the show at all, but I still like the style of it. I'm sure I'll set it up because it looks cool. So let's see if we got a rare one. So, I have no idea who the character is. You guys will have to give shout-outs in there. But the little red-headed chick, is she rare? No, 1 in 12, common. But yeah, I still like the style of them. I still like how they've made these figures. I think they do a very nice job. I like the style on the face, the paint job. Still cool. I'll set it up. Why not? And yeah, eventually I hope to check out that show among many other shows that I haven't checked out because it's obviously popular. It keeps coming up in boxes and I keep seeing it. So, yeah, hopefully I can check it out, and hopefully it's a good show. I'm sure you guys can vouch for that. Let me know. Then, we got one more item, and this is a print. So I definitely like how Nerd Block is doing their prints now. So they've moved away, like many boxes, from just like a standard poster and do it on like a nice cardstock. So it lays at the bottom of the box, and so it arrives undamaged, which is cool. So this is a crossover from Guardians of the Galaxy and Jurassic Park, which is kind of funny though, because obviously the crossover is due to Chris Pratt. He's the main character in both of them. So it's kind of a funny print actually. And it actually has a quote at the top. I don't know if you can see it, a Kevin Bacon quote, but not an actual quote from him, but just a reference, a funny joke to the movie. So I thought it was kind of funny. I think they could have done better on the printing quality. As far as prints go, it's always nice if they have like a border to it. Because when they don't have a border, it seems like it kind of looks like it's just torn out of a magazine or something. Giving a nice border to it and giving it a nice matte finish just makes it look nicer in quality as far as prints go. So I think they could have printed it in a nicer way and made it look a little bit nicer, but this is more for comedy's sake. I don't think this is for, like, I don't think people are going to collect this nice piece of art. I think it's just funny to have in there, maybe put it on a wall. But at least they did, like, good cardstock, though, and it arrived undamaged. So that's very much appreciated, and we appreciate the quality. So, that was all the items. The Nerd Block box is always going to be my quickest review because there's not much to say about it. You get pretty much what you expect. You're going to get the same value every time, and you always know what you're getting out of the box, which is a good thing, though. So, let's run back through these items and talk about a value and give this box a rating. First, the shirt. Like I said, 7 out of 10, standard $12 to $15 value. The plush, the BB-8. This is going to be right around $12, give or take a few. Maybe a few dollars more, maybe a few less. If it were in a store, I'm sure they have something similar to this at Target. You probably get it like around $12, but again, give or take. I'm sure you could find it a few dollars cheaper on eBay somewhere, but roughly $12. The spring-loaded figure. So I'll talk about this a little bit. This is exclusive to Nerd Block. So usually exclusive means better or more valuable, but not always. So the word exclusive is only relative to the item and the franchise. If something's very unpopular, it doesn't matter if it's exclusive or not. It's going to be unpopular. No one's going to want it. No one's going to want to buy it. Therefore, it has no value. But if it's a popular franchise and it's exclusive, then people are going to want it, and it makes it special because it's exclusive, so the value increases. So it depends on the item and the franchise. Now, Star Trek, I know for a fact that they are not heavy in the collectible field. Like, they are just not popular in collectibles in general. I know this because I sell collectibles. I've done it for years and years and years. And I know for a fact Star Trek stuff is extremely difficult to move. Even with the new movie that came out, the older Star Trek stuff is hard to sell. It's very well recognized. Everyone knows Star Trek. Everyone knows the actors from it. Everyone knows all about it. So it's very recognizable, but it's just not that collectible for some reason. Not that many people collect Star Wars stuff. It's just not very common. Most of the people that like Star Wars, that are fans of it, are typically older and maybe a little more of a mature audience. So collectibles aren't that common. So, and I've known that for a lot of things. Like I have the original comic series, I have the Next Generation comic series, like almost every comic. And for Star Trek stuff, it's hard. You can practically not give it away. I was selling the whole series of comics for like $10, and people still didn't want it. But so it's just hard to find. If you find the right person, then yeah. But in general, not that much. So that is going to hurt the value of this because, one, like I said, the whole spring thing, like bobbleheads, like I don't see that being like a major selling point. So this Springs company may have a little trouble getting off the ground like it started. I don't see this being a big thing. But it's not a bad thing either, but it just doesn't increase the value. And like I said, the Enterprise, I'm sure everyone would recognize this, but if this were on a store shelf, very little people would buy it. It's not in popular culture as much, and it's just not popular in the collectible reign. Like, it's just not. That's just fact. So long spiel. That being said, the value on this is only going to be about $8. If it were pretty much anything else that were exclusive figure, it'd be worth a ton more. But the fact that it's Star Trek, it's not that collectible, and it's from a company that's new and not very recognizable, it's only about $8. Like, that's what it's selling for online. That's what you could easily get it for. So it's kind of a bummer. Like, it's a bummer that they have to go through the trouble to get something exclusive, and it just doesn't pan out. It doesn't make it valuable. It's not that collectible. But that happens. That happens all the time. I think they thought this was going to be bigger than it was. it happens, no big deal. But I just wanted to explain the value on that. Then, the Mystery Mini. These are $6. That's just their general cost. You shouldn't ever pay more than that for a Mystery Mini. The print, like I said, it could have been printed a little better, but it's still good quality. But it's not, from what I can tell, it's not from a specific artist. Or where's the card? I don't know if they mentioned the artist or not. Yeah, it didn't mention the artist on there or anything like that, so it's only valued at what it costs to print it, unfortunately, which is like $3 or $4. They need to start mentioning the artist, and they should do like many other boxes do, where they give incentives where some of the boxes come with like signed ones or something like that. So I think they should just like explore that idea. I think that would be a really good idea and make things special. Because other than that, like, it's still cool, it's funny and everything, but it doesn't have a lot of value. So $3 or $4. So with that being said, the value on the low end is $41, and on the high end only $45, which is lower than we usually see from NerdBlock. Like, it's kind of surprising. So I think that's basically due to this Star Trek item. I think they thought it was going to be worth a lot more, and I'm sure they had to put in some money to get something exclusive. Like I said, if it were anything else, it'd be worth a lot more, and I think that would have brought the value up. Because almost always you get like a $50 value from this company, like legitimately. So they do a really good job. I think they just they kind of got some bad luck with this and made a poor choice. So that's kind of a bummer, but you know, whatever. And so overall, I think I'm going to give this box only a 6.5, which is much lower than they usually get, but they can't hit it home every month. They can't do a perfect job every month. They can't make it amazing every month. It's still good. You still got much more than you paid for. You still got a good variety, but the shirt wasn't fantastic. The exclusive wasn't fantastic. The Mystery Mini is common. The plush was cool, like no big deal. So it was just okay. So 6.5 I think is fair, and you got a little bit lower than you usually do. But that's no problem at all. I don't think this would deter anyone from this box. Like, they're always pretty consistent. They give a lot of good variety. They always give at least one item that's a little bit different and out of the box, like thinking-wise. So, and which they always take a gamble with that. And sometimes, for example, like this, they don't please everyone. Like, no big deal. I think people would still like it, but it just doesn't have a lot of value. So let me know what you guys thought about that. One of their lower boxes. But good news about the NerdBlock company, or for this channel per se. I'm going to be trying out a lot more NerdBlock products. People have been asking me about the sci-fi block, and I'm going to try out the sci-fi block in addition to comic block and horror block. So for the month of October, I'm going to be loading it up with this company because I hadn't had a personal interest in a lot of those, but so many people have asked about it, and I thought it's fair to at least give a rating on it at least once. I doubt I'm going to keep most of them around because they're not my specific forte, but I think I should at least try them out once just so you can get a good idea of this company, because that's what this channel is about, helping you guys. So even if it's not my specific taste, it might be yours, so I can go through it. And I think if I'm going to do horror block for any month, I think October would probably be the best month. I think that's like the golden month for horror block. So I'm going to try it out. And they started doing their whole welcome block thing, so if I'm going to get a free block with each one, like, why not at least try it out for 1 month and get some free stuff from the company? Like, why not? They're offering it. I'll take it. So look forward to those things. So if you were ever wondering about those, I'll be doing reviews on them. So October should be a pretty good month. So hopefully I'm caught up with September so we can go through October because there's a lot of new stuff happening. It's going to be a really big month. So that to look forward to. Other than that, this has been NerdBlock Classic. 6.5 out of 10. Shirt got a 7 out of 10. Let me know what you guys thought. Thank you all for watching. Love you all. Peace.